Hi everyone, and welcome to my philosophy channel. Today, we're going back to the very beginning of philosophical thought, the pre-Socratic philosophy, also known as the philosophy of nature. In this episode, we'll explore what the pre-Socratics were all about, focusing on three key thinkers: Thales, Heraclitus, and Anaximander. I'll share their groundbreaking ideas and famous quotes, and at the end, we'll reflect on how these ancient thoughts might still inspire us today. Let's dive in. The pre-Socratic philosophy marks humanity's first attempt to understand the world through reason rather than through religious or mythological stories. These philosophers explored big questions. What is the world made of? Where did everything come from? Is there a fundamental principle or order behind all of reality? What makes the pre-Socratics so important is that they sought natural, logical explanations. They wanted to identify a single, underlying principle that explains everything in the universe. They didn't have modern science, but they had imagination, curiosity, and a deep need to understand. Let's start by exploring the ideas of three major pre-Socratic philosophers and the legacy of their wisdom. Our first philosopher is Thales of Miletus, who lived in the 7th century BCE. Thales is often called the father of philosophy, because he was the first to try to explain the world without relying on myths or religion. Thales believed that everything originated from a single, essential substance: water. For Thales, water was everywhere, in constant movement and transformation, and vital to all living things. It could be liquid, solid, or gas, so he saw it as a fitting symbol for the origin of life itself. One of Thales' famous quotes is, "Everything is water." While we know today that not everything is literally water, Thales' approach, seeking a unifying principle of life, was revolutionary and laid the foundation for scientific inquiry. Next up is Heraclitus of Ephesus, a philosopher who lived in the 6th century BCE. Heraclitus is known for his concept of constant change and flux. He believed that the universe was in a perpetual state of flow, where nothing is ever static. Heraclitus' most famous quote is, "You cannot step into the same river twice." By this, he meant that the river is always moving, so it is never the same river twice. For Heraclitus, change was the fundamental nature of reality, and he believed that opposites, such as day and night, or summer and winter, are necessary to create harmony in the world. His philosophy reminds us that the universe is dynamic and ever-changing, which is something we can see in our own world today, in technology, society, and even nature itself. Our third philosopher is Anaximander, also from Miletus, and a student of Thales. Anaximander questioned his teacher's idea that water was the root of all things. Instead, he thought that the source of everything must be something even more basic and indefinite. Anaximander introduced the concept of the apeiron, which means the boundless, or the infinite. He believed that this indefinite principle, which had no limits and could not be fully understood, was the source of all things. From this boundless source, all things would emerge and eventually return. His famous quote is, "The infinite has no beginning or end." His idea was abstract and profound for his time. It suggested that the universe may be infinite and beyond human understanding, an idea that still resonates with the mysteries of modern cosmology. As we can see, each pre-Socratic philosopher had different ideas about the origins and nature of the universe, but they shared a common goal: understanding the world through reason and observation. Thales' concept of water, Heraclitus' idea of constant change, and Anaximander's infinite apeiron were all steps toward a rational view of nature. How can we apply their ideas today? First, the pre-Socratics teach us to seek simplicity and look for fundamental principles that underlie complex systems. Thales' search for a single substance, like water, can remind us to look for connections across different fields and ideas. Second, Heraclitus' philosophy of change reminds us to embrace the dynamic nature of our world. In an age of rapid technological and societal changes, his words challenge us to stay adaptable and open to new possibilities. Third, Anaximander teaches us humility in the face of the universe's mysteries. His idea of the apeiron suggests that there are limits to what we can know, a concept that encourages us to keep exploring and questioning, even if we never have all the answers. The pre-Socratics didn't find ultimate truths, but they inspired future generations to ask deep questions about the world. Their ideas, although thousands of years old, still challenge us to keep an open mind and to look at the world with curiosity and wonder. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the origins of philosophy. In the next episode, we'll dive into the ideas of the sophists, the teachers of wisdom and rhetoric. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with our philosophical discoveries. See you next time.